Hello viewers, this is Paladin of Odin, and this is some more Magic the Gathering Online. This is another episode of the Standard Commentary Series, and it looks like we've got Izzet Machine Gun versus, I think it's Mardu Midrange, is what it's called. It might be something else, I'll have to check for deck lists, but I know I've seen this before. Izzet has a Storm Chaser Mage, is playing Collective Defiance for 3 damage to his opponent, which I think he's going to redirect to Nahiri since she's on 2. Though, to be perfectly honest, it would have been better to hit him in the face for 3 and then use Storm Chaser Mage to finish her off. You know, he lost 1 damage. Now, I don't know that 1 damage is going to make any difference at the end, but, you know, it's possible. Oh! Demonic Pact! This has got to be, Mardu Harmless Pact. I guess that one, I have seen Mardu midrange, like the old style Mardu midrange deck, make an appearance or two in the tournament practice arena. It's just, the only way to tell the difference is, Mardu midrange doesn't play Demonic Pact or Harmless Offering. It's pretty much the only difference. And honestly, there's no real reason to not play with them since they're in color and can provide you with an instant win. So, Tormenting Voice again, discarded 2 lands. And attacking in with the 3/5 Storm Chaser Mage. The only problem that I see here for Izzet at the moment is the fact that Demonic Pact can just go, oh, 4 damage, kill the Storm Chaser Mage right here, and eliminate all of his current board, effectively. But he's going face instead of clearing the creature. Damage to each opponent when you play a Planeswalker. Manning up the Shambling Vent, so it looks like he's just going for a straight race here. And he made some pretty good inroads, the 4 damage to, well, it'll be 6 total damage to the face and 6 total life gained. So that's quite the switch around. And it's kind of a problem for Izzet because, the more life you gain, the harder it is for them to win because their whole point is to aggressively go after you and ignore almost everything else. And a Grasp of Darkness to kill off the Storm Chaser Mage. So he achieved the board clear and forward momentum with the Demonic Pact and the Shambling Vent. So Izzet is thoroughly behind right now. Manning up the Wandering Fumarole. Now, I don't know that I would have done that here, since most likely you're going to have to discard 2 cards either this turn or next turn, so it would have been advisable to try and play things from your hand than using so much of your mana to attack in for, a couple of damage. And there you go. Discard 2 cards. Discards a Mountain and a Thermo Alchemist. And Painful Truths for 3. Recharging his hand, taking 3 to do it, but Izzet is in a bad way, so it's fairly safe to be able to take damage here, or in this case, lose life, to try and gain an even better advantage. And since he didn't man up the Shambling Vent there when he very well could have, I mean, it would have cost him 1 life, but he would have been able to get in for 2 and gain 2 life. So I'm assuming he has something to play. And Izzet goes for the Wandering Fumarole again. And, I want to guess that it's probably because he has nothing else. And Grasp of Darkness. It doesn't matter which way you flop his power and toughness, that -4 is going to kill it either way. And I'm fairly certain that unless things go horribly wrong for Harmless Pact here, I mean, for example, if he can't get rid of Demonic Pact, he's going to die and just hand the game to Izzet, even though Izzet doesn't have anything to do right now. Well, he does have the Gyre Reach Sanitarium. And there we go. That's the game. Dark Petition. He has 2 instants or sorceries in his graveyard. Undoubtedly, he just went for the Harmless Offering if he didn't already have it. And 1 red mana. Pass this over to the other side. And he's dead. Well, that was a really bad run for Izzet. He never got a chance to get any momentum going. We never saw him keep we never saw him have a Thermal Alchemist in play, let alone be able to, try and get that machine gun running. So, let's go to game 2. Okay, turn 2 Thermal Alchemist gets Oath of Chandrad. Turn 3 Thermal Alchemist. Now, something I was thinking about with Demonic Pact is there are a couple of cards that I can think of right offhand. One of them I can remember the name of, the other one I can't right offhand. But Angelic Purge, for one. I thought that was a pretty good card when it was spoiled. I was expecting to see it played a little bit, and it's not being played at all. But in a deck like Harmless Pact, just in case you can't get your hands on a Harmless Pact, something like an Angelic Purge would be pretty nice to have, considering your other options are something like Anguished Unmaking, which you have to lose 3 life to do it. This way you get a bonus effect out of it. You're sacrificing the Demonic Pact to save yourself from losing the game and getting to exile something. Okay. Pretty good run for Machine Gun so far. Pinging away with the Machine Gun, Exquisite Firecraft. 3 mana tapped. Oh, and the other one is a creature I can't remember the name of. It's from Eldritch Moon, I'm pretty sure. But when it comes into play, you can sacrifice a permanent, and if you do, you get a 3/2 Eldrazi creature token. It's a white creature. I think it's 3 mana, but I'm not sure. Oh, wow, that is one hell of a combo right there. Collective Defiance, discarding Fiery Temper. The only problem is that he doesn't have the mana to cast it. That would have been one heck of a combo right there. Three extra damage. It would have been 4 because of the Thermal Alchemist. He would have been at 5 if he had 1 red mana open. Okay, Demonic Pact draws him 2 cards. He's got to try and find some answers here because he is losing a lot of life. And that's a card I don't see very often, but it is very effective against burn decks. Orbs of Warding, 5 generic, and you have hexproof. So from now on, Fiery Temper, Collective Defiance, Exquisite Firecraft, all cannot touch him. And Thermal Alchemist, though, can, because it gets around that by saying each. It's not specifically targeting him. At least I think that's how that works, right? Whenever done, whenever you play, untap. Okay, 4 damage to the face to gain 4 life. That's probably the best thing to do in this situation, because even though he has Orbs of Warding to protect himself against burn spells, it is theoretically possible that Izzet could very easily knock him down if he stayed lower than that. But then he immediately trades 3 of that life to draw 3 more cards. And he really needs to find himself a harmless offering here, or a way to kill off the Demonic Pact. Duress on 2 cards. That'll at least get him down to 7 cards in hand. Makes him discard an Incendiary Flow, which, not that helpful now that he has Orbs of Warding. And he's got a Fiery Impulse in hand, and that probably isn't going to help him at all. Because typically this deck runs on the same philosophy as Orzhov Control. The only real creatures that they play with are the ones that are produced by Planeswalkers. So the chances to burn a creature are few and far between. So he top decks Tormenting Voice and discards the Fiery Impulse to play it. Draws himself 2 cards. I don't know that he's going to be able to manage this by himself. Well, and there's the 2 cards. Discard 2 cards. And they were both lands. Ouch. And now it comes down to, does he have the trick? He doesn't need the trick. He has Dark Petition, which will fetch him the trick. And he has Spell Mastery, so that is the game. I have to say, Orzhov Control is a really bad matchup for Izzet Machine Gun, mainly because you tend to rely on Thermal Alchemist to do a lion's share of the damage. Sure, you're dealing out damage with big things like Incendiary Flow and Exquisite Firecraft, but that 1 extra damage from that, and then every time you play something like to draw cards with Tormenting Voice, you're doing damage. So, this is very essential to getting your opponent down fast enough to where your burn is actually effective enough to kill them before they can get something going. And I recently did a video of Izzet Machine Gun versus Orzhov Control, and Orzhov just wrecked Izzet Machine Gun. And that's the thing about Mardu Harmless Pact, is it's basically just Orzhov Control with a few more different cards, mainly Planeswalkers, and then the Demonic Pact Harmless Offering combo. So this is also a very bad matchup for Izzet Machine Gun. And unfortunately, his opponent, I'm assuming this was a sideboard card, because you don't run this in your main deck. But it's also, prevents 1 damage. I forgot to read the whole card. No wonder Thermo Alchemist didn't do anything. Good lords. Orbs of Warding is perfect against Thermo Alchemist. It turns Thermo Alchemist into a 0/3 defender. Bleh. Wow. Now that is a hell of a sideboard card against this matchup. So, yeah, I didn't even see that. But holy crap, the harmless, the Harmless Pact deck. It was almost perfect against Izzet. I can't particularly pick out one thing to say that he did wrong, but then again, perfection is almost impossible to achieve anyway. But this is almost near perfect against Izzet Machine Gun. And again, I went off on a tangent and babbled on for far too long. Sorry for the long video, but that was Izzet Machine Gun versus Mardu Harmless Pact. And if you liked what you saw, hit that like and subscribe button for me, and I will see you in the next video.